Hey you guys, Jamie Balmet here from YoungWifeSguide.com and Homemaking Ministries, and today we're talking about making homemade elderberry syrup. So last year was a horrible sickness season for us. From about November to March, we were sick. Like on and off, we got hand, foot, and mouth disease. We just got every single sickness, every cold, everything under the sun. It was a horrible sickness season. And I know it was because our immunities were down. So I think our immunity started slipping in November when all the sickness started going around, and we just could never get those immunities back up. We got hit with thing after thing after thing. And so I feel like we got behind the sickness too much. Like we just couldn't recover and get back up. So it is mid-October, and since the beginning of September, I think maybe into August, I have been doing everything I can to help boost our immunities and just head into the sickness season better, because it is already a terrible sickness season. There is crazy sickness going around. So elderberry syrup can be one of the very best things you can do to boost immunities. If you are sick already, doubling up on this can really help you cut down on this, how long you're sick. So today I'm gonna be showing how to make it. You can buy store-bought elderberry syrup that's already made. So if you're like, Jamie, my kids are sick, the house is crazy, I need elderberry syrup now, there are some good options. But what you want to do is you want to read the ingredients list, because a lot of them add sugar to make it taste better. What you want to find are ones sweetened with raw honey. So if you got the honey in it, there are some good options. I think it's definitely better to make it yourself, but you guys, I just got through a whole bottle of a store-bought one because I just didn't have the time. Now, what I want to encourage you to do is buy this early in the season, because last year there was an elderberry shortage, and they were sold out everywhere, and the price of elderberries was ridiculous. So I just bought a few bottles of the pre-made stuff because I couldn't find it. So this year I ordered early, and I'm gonna order a few more. Now I know you're gonna ask, where do you buy elderberries? So you can get whole elderberries. I have two places I love. The first is bulkherbstore.com. They did do an announcement earlier this year that they were going out of business, but they recently just came back and said, wait a minute, we're actually gonna keep like 50 of our most popular items in stock. And I think elderberries is one of those. I just got this from them. The second place I highly recommend is from Azure Standard, AZURE standard.com. They do not deliver to all areas though. So if you have a delivery site near you, use them. I use it for everything. So that is where I'll be getting my elderberries in the future in my next shipment. So I'm gonna stock up on these in case there's a shortage again like last year, because it was like, no. And I think part of that is because it was a horrible sickness season. And I think we're heading into another one. Okay, so to make elderberry syrup, it's really, really easy. You've got your water, elderberries, a couple of spices, raw honey. It takes about 40 minutes on the stove, but your hands-on work is not very much, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine 4 cups of water. Then all you need, these are whole elderberries. There's been nothing done to them. I haven't even opened these ones up yet. You're gonna put then, and you can have this if you only wanna do a little bit, but it stores in your fridge really well. So it'll store for a while. And we're a family of 7, so I'm gonna be like keeping this on stock. As soon as we start to get low, I am making another batch all year long, okay? So I'm gonna put in 2 cups of this. This is a half cup measuring, so I'm gonna put 4, dump them in. The exact measurements don't matter all that much. And so I used a good 3/4 of this bag. Okay, so 2 cups of this. You're gonna put in, normally I use cinnamon stick. I'm out of cinnamon sticks right now, so I'm improvising because I need to make this. So I am just putting in ground cinnamon. It's gonna be fine. So put in some ground cinnamon. Normally you'd put in a cinnamon stick or 2. The other thing you're gonna put in is some whole cloves. Cloves are awesome, so put 3 to 5 whole cloves in. You just dump them in. And then the last thing is some ground ginger. Ginger is amazing, so we're gonna put a little bit of ground ginger. Stir it up. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put this on the stove, and you're gonna let it boil, you're gonna let it come to a boil, and you're gonna let it simmer for 30 to 40 minutes. And then we'll be back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I brought the elderberries, everything to a boil, and then it boiled on the stove for about 40 minutes. I turned it down to a low simmer, boiled for about 40 minutes. You can take then a potato masher, work it around, try to get all the juice you can out of those elderberries. I already did that quite a bit. So you want to smash it all out. So then you're going to take a really tight weave strainer like this, or cheesecloth works really well. And you're going to strain all of the lumpy stuff out into whatever bowl you're using. This is going to be a little messy because this is not as big. Okay, so I'm going to drain all this and then I'll give you the next instructions. Okay, so cheesecloth works really well for this because you really want to press the elderberries. So if you've got a cheesecloth, then you can really squeeze it and really strain it all out. I just took this off the stove though, and these elderberries are hot. So I am not doing that. I am just pressing them as much as I can in my little mesh strainer. Okay, so I've got just about as much out of these as I'm going to get. So what you want to do next is you want to take a look at how much elderberry syrup you ended up with, and you're going to mix in equal parts honey. So if you have 1 cup, you're going to add in 1 cup of honey. So you're going to stir that in. Mine is still extremely hot, so this honey is going to mix in great. If you let this cool first, then you want to put the honey in and put it back on the stove and just heat it enough so that the honey melts into it. You don't want to bring it back to a boil. You don't want to make it super hot, but make it warm enough that the honey will dissolve into it. So I came out with just under 2 cups. And so I'm going to put just under 2 cups of my raw honey, mix it in. So what you want to do then is let this cool and put it in a glass container, sealed. Stick it in your fridge. If you have it in a good glass sealed container, this thing will last weeks and weeks and weeks, if not a few months in your refrigerator. So then you can just use it as you need it. One of our favorite things to do with this is to drizzle it on pancakes. You can put it on pancakes. You can mix it into oatmeal. You can just take it straight up with a teaspoon. And people ask, do your kids take elderberry syrup? And they do, because it's half raw honey, which is actually also really good for you. So it tastes like honey. It's with a little berry mixed in. The kids love it. So that's how we take it. Now, right for this year, we are pretty much going to take this every day. I'm not going to be dogmatic about that. If we miss a day or two, just whenever I think about it, we're going to take it. I'm going to have for all the kids, please do your own research, look up the amounts that you should do. But for all the kids, we're going to do 1 teaspoon a day. And then if we are battling, especially the flu, but even a cold, we'll increase that to like 1 teaspoon 4 times a day. For adults, you could even do 1 tablespoon 4 times a day if you're really heavily battling a flu or something like that. But for preventative measure, we'll be taking about a teaspoon a day. And I am just going to keep this stocked in our house around the clock. So overall, it's actually incredibly easy to make. This took about 45 minutes to make in all, but my hands-on work was about 5 or 6 minutes, which isn't bad at all. And now it will store in the fridge. I could have made 2 or 3 times this amount if I really wanted to stock up, but I don't mind making this every month or so. So that's how you make it. If you guys have more questions, please leave a comment down below. And I encourage you to do your own research on elderberries because there is some really, really good stuff. It has antiviral properties inside. It is amazing, and there's been some studies done on how effective it is against the flu, which is amazing. So I encourage you guys, run out if you have no time, go buy yourself a bottle of elderberry syrup, or if you're feeling up to it, make your own. It's actually not that hard, and it's awesome and super healthy for you. So make sure you go down below, leave some comments if you have any questions, and make sure you go up and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can find out more fun recipes. I also have another new recipe coming this week on how to make homemade vanilla extract, one of my other fall favorites. So make sure you go up and subscribe so that you get notified each time I have new videos. All right, ladies, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you back here for the next episode of Cooking with Jami.